Yo, it's good. It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Jordan Poole must go. His time has come to an end in Golden State. I want to dive into that in this video. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me and subscribe and the bell for notifications. This isn't one of those videos where I'm trying to get clickbait or I'm just kind of, talking out of my neck because I'm upset how the season ended or anything like that. This is really kind of what they might call in some, cultural spaces, a coming to God moment, right? This is a where you have to look at yourself in the mirror and be honest. And if we're honest, Jordan Poole does not fit who the Golden State Warriors are. And that's become abundantly clear. You see, the Golden State Warriors are a championship team. They are a dynasty. They, for goodness sakes, won last year's NBA championship. They are a team that is built on foundational team principles of who they are. And when you're a championship team, you don't change who you are for anyone. You bring in people who fit who you are. It was interesting because in this year's playoffs, in the semifinals with the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers, I remember I was watching the series and I said to myself, this is going to be one of those epic series, similar to almost like a boxing match. For those who follow my channel know that I also enjoy watching boxing and following boxing. And one of the things that they always talk about is how styles make fights. Styles makes fights. And many times within these fights, with two individuals who have very different styles, the one who can impose their will and force the other to adjust to them is usually the one who's going to end up winning. Because the person adjusting is having to try on new things while the other person is being able to find success at being exactly who they've always been when it comes to being successful. And in this series against the Los Angeles Lakers, the Golden State Warriors flinched first. They were playing chicken. Both teams were flying down this one-way street at 100 miles an hour. And Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors flinched first. Steve Kerr made an adjustment, going to a heavily ball-dominant pick-and-roll style with Stephen Curry. And even though it found some levels of success, it completely took the team out of their rhythm and out of who they have been. Now, I understand the reasons for it. I do. I totally do. Clay was struggling with his shot, and other guys, Wiggins was, still trying to get his legs. And I think he had, like a small injury that had come about. And, I get all of that. Jordan Poole, he was, figuring himself out, especially being exploited on the defensive end. And, the team just wasn't clicking and they wanted to win. And so they took a chance to try something different. And the veteran team, or the veteran-led team of the Los Angeles Lakers, took advantage of those changes. What ended up happening is that the guys who found shots in normal situations stopped finding those same shots and had to figure out how to get shots in this new offensive scheme. As a result, they ended up having to deal with things that they hadn't foreseen either. All right. And as a result, they lost in a series. Similarly, the Golden State Warriors at the end of this season are going to have this coming to God moment, looking themselves in the mirror and saying, who are we as a team? What are we about? When Mark Jackson set the foundation of this team, one of the fundamental principles was defense, that we were going to be fully 100% committed on the defensive end. They were going to play together. They were going to have a level of connectedness where they had each other's back. And it was through that camaraderie that they were able to gel and build remarkable chemistry. And when Steve Kerr came in and he implemented the offensive system, it built upon that. Within that, having each other's back, supporting one another, being committed to one another, their offensive system was built around movement and trusting one another to move the ball and allowing it to have energy and finding the person who is open to get the best shot. And this level of selflessness was also a foundational principle of their dynasty era, which I believe they are still in, at least for the next couple of seasons. Herein lies the problem with Jordan Poole. This isn't that Jordan Poole is not talented. He's one of the most creative, effective ball handlers, shot creators, shot makers, playmakers in the league. There's no doubting that talent. But that talent hasn't been able to go through the same growing pains. It hasn't had the same foundational principles instilled in it. And even though Jordan Poole is incredibly talented, he just doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. You see, the Golden State Warriors, yes, they need somebody who can break down the defense consistently and create open looks when, the ball movement slows down because they're facing a great defense and they just need somebody who can create for themselves. Well, here's the thing. That is a very important aspect that they have to address. And you still have to do the other things. You still have to play defense. You still have to rebound. You still have to make sure the ball is moving. You still have to make sure you're getting the best, most efficient quality shots. And that's not Jordan Poole. Not only that, but his incident with Draymond Green last summer. Yes, we have to talk about it. I thought that they were going to be able to get over it. And then I saw, as the season went on, they were not. And as the playoffs ensued, it became apparent and clear that they had not moved on. Not only had they not moved on, but it was affecting the overall team chemistry and energy. Jordan Poole, as he became more and more unplayable because of his lacking on the defensive end, which of course frustrated Draymond Green, probably to no end, along with Klay Thompson. But then Draymond can't really say anything to him because of the incident, which is affecting the chemistry and the energy on the team and each one's ability to have each other's back. Jordan Poole began to seem isolated and alienated from his own teammates. I don't think any of this was intentional, but it is what it is. And in the same way that they had to come to a recognition that James Wiseman was not going to be able to be a part of this current winning, championship contending, dynastic regime, I think they're also going to have to figure that out with Jordan Poole. Because not only does he not seem to fit, but he actually costs a hell of a lot of money. And with the new collective bargaining agreement, this cap is not a hard cap. And if you know my channel, you know I don't even agree with the salary cap. But this is currently what the situation is for the NBA. There is a salary cap. And this salary cap demands that teams maximize the salaries that are on the team and don't go over or pay dearly in terms of taxes. And the Golden State Warriors have paid Jordan Poole, who was the sixth man, not starting, not ready to take Klay Thompson's place, not fitting, not being able to do some of the fundamental foundational aspects of this team's identity. And they're paying him like a starter. And the reality is, for what they're paying him, they could probably bring in 2 to 3 veterans, at least 2 quality, playoff-tested veterans who can actually add far more to this team than what Jordan Poole currently is. Now, with that, I want to repeat, Jordan Poole is not a bust. He's not sorry. He's not weak. He's a good player with a lot of potential, a lot of talent. But this isn't the place for him. The Golden State Warriors are not set up to develop his talent, as we saw with James Wiseman. Shoot, as we even saw with Jonathan Kuminga, even as much as Kuminga played consistently throughout the season and showed flashes, I'm a big Kuminga fan. Even he was not able to maintain that trust from coach Steve Kerr. And as a result, this team has to ask themselves, who does? Because Dante DiVincenzo, as well as he played for this team, they're looking at him in free agency and probably saying, we can't afford you anymore. And we're about to lose you. And they're still looking at glaring holes on their team. They need athleticism and length in the front court at that center and power forward position. They need somebody who can consistently break down the other team's defense and get to the rim while making good decisions and playing sound defense. They're still needing to make sure that they have quality wings with length to be able to deal with all the athletic, long, tall, small forwards and wing players that are in the Western Conference. This team needs to make immediate adjustments. And with Bob Myers not extending the contract and walking away from the Golden State Warriors, that time more than ever is now for the Golden State Warriors to make sure that they have all the pieces in place to ensure that they maximize the remaining years of this dynasty. Because as we saw with LeBron James talking potentially about a retirement, nothing lasts forever. And if there's one thing that these Golden State Warriors know, is how long it can be before you get back to this mountaintop. Yo, if you enjoyed the video, if you agree or disagree, holler at me in the comment section. Smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications, and I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.